The interface was very different, and just the sheer number of terms and acronyms that were being thrown around, it made me feel like I was kind of learning a new language. FBA, ACOS, ASIN, what does that all mean? Are you ready to unlock the strategies that will scale your Amazon store to six figures and beyond? Whether you're looking to grow sustainably or scale with confidence, we've got the insights and tools you need to succeed. Welcome to the Six Figure Amazon Seller Podcast, the show where we dive deep into the tactics and insights that drive successful Amazon businesses. I'm Becky, your host, and today we're going to dive into a topic that every Amazon seller, whether you're new or you're experienced, needs to understand, and that is the essential Amazon Seller Essential terms that you need to know when you're selling on the platform. So, this episode is for anyone who has ever felt overwhelmed by the jargon or terminology that is used inside Seller Central. And by the end of the episode, you're going to have a clear understanding of some key terms that'll help you really navigate this platform more effectively. I remember when I first started using Amazon Seller Central, that's been over 8 years ago now, the interface was very different. And just the sheer number of terms and acronyms that were being thrown around, it made me feel like I was kind of learning a new language. So you hear the things like FBA, ACOS, ASIN. What does that all mean? It was kind of like being handed the keys to a brand new car without any instructions on how to drive it. One particular client, a luxury like sunscreen family-owned company, was kind of in a similar position. They had a great product line, but they were really struggling to make sense of Amazon's like complex ecosystem. They were trying to spend hours figuring it out and understanding the platform, trying to push changes through on listings, things like that. But they didn't have like a solid grasp of fundamentals and also key terms. And really, they couldn't utilize the tools that were available to them. And that's really why they came to us for help. So let me take you back to that time. Like I said, they're doing well off of Amazon. They wanted to really expand their reach on Amazon and they were passionate about their products. They knew there was a market online. They were already getting sales in this case, but there was a learning curve for Amazon Seller Central. And when you have someone that is, if you're a CMO or you're serving as an executive in your company, trying to do things like spending hours figuring out different things like what ASINs are, how FBA works, what does ACOS even mean for your ad campaigns? I mean, that can get frustrating. And also, it's probably not the best use of their or your time when you're, typically it's, they're getting six-figure salaries, right? And they're doing things that it's just way different than what they're used to. And really, then they kind of hit a wall where it looks like they're trying to scale on Amazon, but it's just challenging because there is a learning curve when it comes to Amazon. And I remember like one of the first meetings, they were just kind of overwhelmed with all the terminology. They felt like they were missing out on opportunities and they just didn't understand how to navigate Amazon Seller Central or use it effectively. And honestly, they kind of realized they just didn't have the bandwidth to do it themselves. They needed someone to help them with the platform. And that's the thing that I've seen over the years. Many brands, many sellers have this. They do have like a passion for their product, they have great products, but they don't have the knowledge of the platform on Amazon. And so, really, because of that, there's just a lot that goes into really not being able to fully utilize their potential on Amazon. So, how can you avoid that pitfall? One of the key things I think is really understanding these essential terms that are used frequently about Amazon Seller Central, inside Seller Central, anytime you're listening to anything. So, I'm going to break down not all of them, that would be way too long, but I am going to talk about some of the important ones that I think will be helpful for you. So the first one is called ASIN, and that is Amazon Standard Identification Number. Every single product, this could mean a product that you have in a 2 ounce or a 4 ounce, they're going to both be assigned a unique ASIN. So they're going to have a unique identifier inside when you add it to your Amazon catalog. And that's essentially your product's ID on Amazon's platform. So understanding ASINs, that's really crucial because when you're looking at your inventory, or when you're looking at your product performance as an executive or the CMO, you need to know how things are doing on a product level. So understanding that ASINs exist in Amazon is helpful. Next, there's FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. I talk about this a lot. This is a service where Amazon is handling the storage, the packing, the shipping, the customer service of your products. So, knowing how FBA works, that can really save you and your team time and effort. That'll allow you to focus in on growing your business for you as a brand, creating that big picture strategy of marketing that you're doing where Amazon is just one channel. So, you're looking at all your different channels, right? And for instance, for one client, like transitioning to FBA has been a game changer. We've had one client in the past that their sales increased by 30% by going from FBM to FBA. And, that's not always a guaranteed result, but that is a nice lift in sales. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for because that's in our kind of more wheelhouse of how can we be doing Amazon better for your brand? So it's really kind of, you're not only just streamlining your operations by using FBA, but you also are going to give them a better experience. The customers on like customer satisfaction when they have that prime shipping. Also, your conversion rates should typically increase. ACoS, that is advertising cost of sale. So ACoS, that's going to be a metric that tells you how much you're spending on Amazon to then generate a sale. So it's calculated when you're looking at the ratio of your ad spend to your sales, just your ad sales. A lower ACoS means that your ads are more cost effective. Their ads are basically doing better typically. And then, for instance, one client, a topical pain product client, they saw significant improvement in their ACoS after we really built an ad strategy specifically for Amazon to really work on expanding their ads, which they had not really done anything with ads. And that's a good starting point if you haven't done anything and they just didn't have that expertise of Amazon's ads. So they started around 20,000 in monthly sales. After 2.5 years of working with them, it was over, they also expanded their product line, but over 150,000 in monthly sales. And obviously that in turn is going to boost like profitability. Next, you have BSR. That is best sellers rank. So BSR, that's going to indicate how well your product is selling compared to others in the same category that you're in. If you have a lower BSR, that means that you're getting higher sales. Obviously, if you're like your BSR is a 5, that is much better than a BSR of 5,000. So, looking at your BSR as the executive, as a CMO for your company, which is what you should be doing, on all platforms, including Amazon, looking at that can really give you insight into how your product is performing relative to the competition that's on Amazon because it's very different on Amazon than other platforms. Next, we have buy box. Now, that is essentially that box on a product detail page. So when you go to a listing, and it's called a product detail page, where customers can begin purchasing, so that you see that little yellow button, add to cart, by adding items to their cart. Winning that buy box is going to be crucial for driving sales, especially in categories where you have multiple offers or multiple sellers. Now, I've talked about that in a previous episode. If you have issues with unauthorized sellers, make sure to go back to that older episode and listen to it if that's your particular issue. If you're the only seller, there should not be an issue unless there's something else going on with your buy box, and that could happen even if you're the only seller. So factors like your pricing, shipping, seller performance, that's really going to like basically impact your chance of winning that buy box. Next is PPC, so pay per click. This is an advertising model where you're just paying for every time a person clicks on your ad. So this platform is different than other platforms. Some platforms do focus more on the views, but your Amazon PPC campaigns, you can really help increase your product visibility, your brand visibility, but managing them effectively obviously is going to be key to maintaining your healthy ACoS. Now, IPI, we've got that inventory performance index. This is inside Seller Central, inside what's called the account health section. You're going to see a number there. That IPI measures how well you manage your inventory. So the higher your score, it means you're effectively balancing your inventory levels in your storage space, which can obviously then lead to lower storage fees and better inventory placement. Right as of right now, the max that you can get is 1,000, and yes, that is possible. We have a client that has hit that. And so that is your IPI. SKU, that is your stock keeping unit. So SKUs, they are different, and this is really confused a lot, I think, with ASINs. So your SKUs are unique codes that you assign to your products for inventory tracking. So that's you creating it, whereas an ASIN is what Amazon generates and creates for you. So you're understanding and able to organize your SKUs properly to really manage your inventory more efficiently. You can create multiple SKUs for the same product. So If, for instance, you have an FBM offer and an FBA offer, you're going to see the same ASIN when you go to manage inventory, but you will need different SKUs for each of those. So that is where you can have multiple SKUs for just one ASIN. So those are just the beginning of terms, but hopefully understanding those will give you a really strong foundation for navigating Amazon Seller Central also confidently. And understanding their terminology is really like kind of learning the rules to a game, right? It's essential for kind of success. With that knowledge, without it, basically, you're going to feel a little overwhelmed. You might feel a little lost. So understanding those key terms is going to be important so that you can actually start leveraging the platform to its full potential. Now, whether you're just starting out or looking to optimize your existing operations, making sure you know those terms, that can really help make a difference in your Amazon journey. So, thank you for tuning in to the Six Figure Amazon Seller podcast. As always, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out and make sure to go to the show notes where you can also sign up for weekly updates from me. Talk to you next week. Bye. Just like your customer reviews on Amazon help you grow, your review on Apple Podcasts helps us reach more brands like you. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you please take a moment to leave us a review? We'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much.